Todd Doherty, Member of Parliament for Cariboo Prince George. And a couple weeks back, I had a conversation with a local organization that is doing incredible work. And the idea for this in conversation with or fireside chat came up out of that. And with me today, I have Kendra, Anna, Alicia of AKA Studios. And then I also have one of their clients, Lori Lienemeyer. I just want to say thank you to all of you for being here today. And I won't go into too much detail because I want you to tell your stories as to what you are. So thank you to everyone that are here today. Thank you for taking the break from self-isolation and COVID social distancing and doing what you're doing. But moreover, Kendra, Anna, and Alicia, the work that you guys are doing, I was blown away by some of the stuff that we were talking about because I know that it's having an impact, and I can't wait to share your story with our listeners and followers. So take it away. What is it exactly that you do?
So here at AK Studio, a lot of people have asked kind of like what it is that we are, who we are, what we do. And the best way I can kind of put it is we're like a post-trauma pamper clinic. So we're here to help you feel like getting back to who you are. And a lot of it can be very like physical appearance, but I think a lot of it is a mentally and emotionally healing as well, because I think that we're a really great support system. At the same time, we do everything from skincare, like microneedling, chemical peels, to cosmetic and medical tattooing for areola tattoo, bar breakdown, camouflage. And then we have like some other nice fun things that you can do here too to help kind of pamper yourself up, which is like eyelash extensions, aesthetics, things like that. And we also do other things like laser tattoo removal and regular tattooing as well.
Right. And we talked about I've got tattoos, and there is a stigma associated with tattoos. That was probably one of the things that I was most worried about when I was running, is that, oh no, people would find out I had tattoos. And, because tattoos are oftentimes associated with big, bad people, and which is so far from the truth. So there is a stigma associated with that, but you also do tattoo removal. And especially for, let's say, some of our youth that are going into, let's say, gang life, or they have, done a crazy thing one night and gotten a tattoo, say, on the side of the face or on their neck or someplace where later on in life they have the regret. Number one, if you've got associated gang tattoos on, which will stick with you. And if you're trying to change your life as you move forward, that could really be a barrier a number of different ways, a mental health barrier, but also a barrier for you to move forward from your past life. And tell me a little bit about some of the clients that you're seeing with that.
The best example I have is a young fellow that moved here from Calgary. He was involved in another tattoo shop where it did have some criminal element to it. And he did some things where most of his face, well, it's still tattooed, but it was very, very dark when he came here. And so over the last few months, we've gotten it very lightened up, but because it's new, it is a process, because you can only do the sessions about 8 weeks apart. But he's very happy, and he's one of those, not only does it affect him like mentally and emotionally, but he feels it's a barrier to getting other employment. Like the type of employers might not hire him where he wants to work. Yeah. So we have a very good relationship. I'm not saying I'm a psychiatrist or anything, but he feels comfortable talking about things. So I think we help him on a few different levels, not just getting rid of the tattoos. There's no judgment here. We know the past is the past, and we just concentrate on the future.
One of my friends who's an artist, I've sat in his chair a number of times for a lot of hours, and that's how our friendship began. And I consider him one of my closest friends. and because you're there for a considerable amount of time, and there's only so much small talk that you can actually have, and so you tend to kind of delve into both the history and the background of the artist, but also what's the motivation behind your tattoo? What's the motivation behind other tattoos? What do you do? What are some of the things that are going on in your life, right? And so it's so important.
We'd like to also, I understand that, I'm not sure how to put it politely, but pimps like to brand the girls that that were under them. And I know that when they do leave that environment, that's something they would like to remove from their bodies. So we want to find a contact to be a part of that whole process too.
Giving back the life of those that have kind of gone down an unfortunate path. You're absolutely right. Especially in sex trafficking and what have you, we know that those that are perpetuating the crime, they find a way to tag or mark their property. And so the work that you're doing to integrate and to give these people back their lives, and it may seem a small thing, but overall it's it's that identifying mark. It's that reminder every day, every time they look in the mirror, every time they pass by a mirror, about like a negative moment in their life. Now, Lori, you are a client of AKA Studios. Can you tell us your story?
Oh, well, I don't think we have enough time to do that. However, the ladies at AKA are absolutely amazing to work with. There is no judgment, and it is such a supportive, caring, and empathic organization to walk into. The studio is beautiful, and the loving energy that's there is just amazing. And as an energy worker, that's like huge for me.
Right.
But my story is I first came to them to discuss what could be done, because as a cancer survivor, I did not have eyebrows grow back. And so, I could try and draw them on, but it was never even. It never looked right. It always looked horrible. And so now, I don't know if you can see, they did such a lovely job on doing my eyebrows. And we started talking about other things, because as part of my journey back to health, I never, prior to that, ever felt that I was really attached to my bosoms. And it turns out that after they were gone and I'm covered with these horrid scars, that, you know what, I really was. And so after reconstruction, it's taken me 6 years, 6 years, after having reconstruction done, to even step forward and say, okay, you know what, it's time for me to get these tattooed, because it just looks wrong when it's just flesh and scars. So I had tattoos done by someone else a couple of years ago, and it was not a good job. In fact, it was horrible. The coloring was horrible. The sizing, everything about it was wrong. And when I started talking to the gals at AKA, they said, well, we can help you with that. And so over the course of the summer, once everybody was allowed to go back and start seeing clients again, we started the process to have the tattoos removed. And we're still in that process. It's not a big scary, it's a little uncomfortable, but it's no big deal. And I'm looking forward to it, because we've had such a great rapport build between us, and the process is working. It is definitely slow. The coloring and the pigmentation was super, super dark. So it's taken a long time to break it down, but it is breaking down. And just having that visual, which sounds ridiculous to anybody who's never had to go through it, has made a huge difference for me in terms of how I feel about myself. And it's the stress and the drama and the trauma of having gone through cancer treatment and reconstruction is indescribable unless you've actually been through it. And to have all these other barriers or perceived barriers in our minds as we move forward, it's like, how do you feel whole again? And this is an incredible and so powerful step forward, whether it's tattoo removals for whatever reason, but certainly for medical reasons. It's fabulous. And then they have all kinds of other cool processes that we're going to be exploring as we move forward. And I'm just very grateful that they've been here.
Yeah, maybe you could describe some of the stuff that we're planning on, Lori.
Yeah.
I'm doing like, what can we work on while other things are being in the process of restoring? So right now we're doing the laser tattoo removal on the areola tattoos that she had done just because they don't complement her body. So we want to get those lightened to the point where we can put on new ones that do complement her. In that process, we worked on her brows. And our next step is actually going to be doing microneedling to break down some of the scarring that she has. And then also do like a pigmentation matching so that it camouflages in with the rest of her skin so it's less noticeable. But there's also a lot of scarring that she does have that because of the way it was sutured or the way that it healed, it's left like either pockets, like pits almost, and then almost like parts kind of stick out. So with the microneedling, we're hoping that that can actually break it down quite a bit, make it more of like a natural, smooth kind of surface. And then that way we can go in. So there's a lot of things that need to be done, but it's a step-by-step progress, and patience is the number one thing. But we're hoping that it'll have lots of really good outcomes for her, and we can get her, Lori, feeling back to herself again.
Lori,
yeah.
You know, Lori, maybe if you talk a little bit more about, you know, when you go through this traumatic experience, I think what struck me the most when we were talking the last time was AKA is really giving back people their lives, really breaking down all of the barriers that whether they're real or perceived or you know, in mental health, we always talk about the barrier for the barriers and the stigma attached to mental health, and the stigma attached to coming forward, asking for help. And the same can be said when you have a traumatic experience like what you've gone through, especially if it left in your mind you disfigured in a way. Maybe if you could share with us just how you came to discover AKA and what was that tipping point for you to actually seek their help?
Well, initially, I think I can't even remember how we first came in contact, actually. But initially, I've been looking for, well, since the first Oriel tattoos had been done, and I was like, oh, we'll just hope that this is going to calm down. But I've been looking and searching, and I didn't want to go down to Vancouver because God knows I don't want to be in Vancouver. So at some point in the last year or year and a half, I did come across the ladies, and I can't honestly remember if it was at a business networking event or if it was because
it was that wellness thing that was canceled.
That's right.
That's right. Yes.
That's right. So it was a wellness event that was here in town that we came across, and I think I picked up the information then, and we had a bit of a conversation, and then a little while later we had a bit more of a conversation. We were just getting ready to start rolling through it, and COVID hit.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the end of that until the summertime.
And ladies, can you maybe share some of the more difficult, I guess, cases or clients that you've seen? Not necessarily difficult clients, but difficult cases that you've had to work with?
I think that right now our biggest challenge is more or less just like waiting for things to happen, because laser tattoo removal, those all take, like, it's a process. You have to wait about 8 weeks in between each treatment. And so it's the wait time, honestly. We have had I think a few very emotional cases, and those would be very hard for some of us.
And that includes Lori, seeing some of the scarring, and then that initial, the areola tattoos that she had done, and it does. And the fellow, well, I have a couple of fellows that have either the face or some other body part where they've had the tattoos, and unfortunately they're so fresh, which really impacts like the whole process. So it takes a bit longer when they're newer. So I know the clients want instant gratification, like a lot of us, but it's so it makes me sad that I can't make it happen faster. But they do seem very pleased that after about the 4-week mark, where they can definitely see fading or little white from the skin showing. And Lori's not, we've done a quote for a few people that are going between Vancouver and here for getting the nipples and the scars reduced. And all of them are hard because we want to help them like fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead. Sorry, Alicia.
Okay. For me personally, I have a client right now who has had multiple breast surgeries, and she has quite a bit of stubborn scarring. And so I would say for me, that's probably one of my more difficult clients currently. But once again, it's a process that takes multiple treatments and healing. So it's kind of one of those things where you can just hope for the best outcome possible.
Mm-hmm.
And
now,
everybody is so different. So it's hard to give people an answer on an estimate of time of how things will take and the process of things, just because everybody's bodies are so different. So even though one person might come in and one treatment might do wonders for them, the next person that comes in, it could take like 5 treatments of whatever it is that we're doing for them to get the same result. So
it's interesting about the scars that you said in our previous conversation, that you can tattoo over or you can help remove or lessen some of the scars. Is that a painful process?
I feel like there might be a little bit of discomfort here and there, but we are really great at making sure everybody is very comfortable throughout. We use pre-numbing and open skin numbing if it is necessary. Lots of people don't find that it is, but we're always asking and making sure our clients are always comfortable so that they can be in a positive environment at all times.
Right.
Which is our number one goal always.
Now, how many chairs do you have?
So we have a few different offices. So we have our skincare room, which is where we're at right now. Alicia's little space. So we do a lot of like the microneedling here. So this is where like the scar breakdowns can happen with the microneedling. We also do other treatments that can help reduce like hypo and hyperpigmentation. And we have another room that has our laser in it. So that can also, for the laser tattoo removal, we also do the hyperpigmentation reducing in there. And then we have a few other rooms as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the tattooing, currently we have Kendra is our tattoo artist. As we discussed the last time we met, that we were really new when this whole pandemic started. And until we get known and our clients increase, we have just the one tattoo artist for now that does. Yeah.
I still have to come down myself, actually. Maybe over the holidays.
Yeah, that's a good present.
So we do have there's 2 of us tattoo artists. There's myself and Nadina Shepherd, and she specializes in the kind of more of like it's still traditional, but it's more of like a newer school traditional. It's pretty cool stuff. You should definitely check it out.
All right.
Because that's another thing to keep in mind is sometimes people don't want necessarily to have like areolas and nipples or a scar camouflage.
Yeah, they're covered up with a tattoo.
Yeah, some sort of embellishment, like to show kind of like a badge of honor. So Yeah.
Well, I think we can all say the same. I hate cancer, and I do everything in my power to make sure that there will be a day where cancer diagnosis is not a death sentence. And Lori, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us. I think the more that we can tell the story of AKA Studios and the people that you're helping, I think it's really important. And I hope from our in conversation with today, more people understand a little bit about what you guys are doing. Where can they reach you?
They can reach us by phone, which is 778-890-1290. They can message through Facebook. They can also email at akastudio@mail.com.
And yes, it is mail.com, not Gmail.
And we get that a lot.
Yes, and you can also get a hold of us through our Instagram and our website as well, which you can find a list of all of our services and even photos as well.
And you're right on Victoria Street, right? Pretty much next to Tireland, right?
Tireland, yes. Yeah, we're Unit 206,
Tire Capital?
Or Tire Capital.
Or Tire Capital, that's right. Great.
Yeah, one of the two.
But it's 715 Victoria Street, Unit 206. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you guys have anything else that you wanted to say today?
I'd just like to say for anybody that may be hearing this later on, that if you are questioning or wondering or curious about it, by all means, these ladies are amazing to work with and you won't regret it. You absolutely won't regret it. For your own emotional and how you feel about yourself physically. These ladies are amazing to help you get it back and get back to feeling a little bit of normal.
And for anybody else, even if you don't think that, like if you're hesitant and you don't know whether or not it's something that we can help you with, you can book a consultation with us for free. And we're always more than happy to answer any questions you might have, because you might be surprised in what we might be able to help you with.
That's awesome. I'm for what it's worth, I just want you guys to know I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the work that you're doing to give people back their lives, to make a difference within our community for those that are seeking it. I think that there's brighter things ahead for you guys as we move forward. The more that we can do to help promote this and tell your story, we'll endeavor to do that. Lori, thank you again for sharing your story with us. And I was paying attention to your twins behind you that were having fun. Folks, just have a safe holiday season, and thank you again. Thanks for being part of In Conversation With and the Fireside Chat. I'm Todd Doherty, Member of Parliament for Caribou Prince George, and saying happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Thanks,
holidays.
Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Love you.